Hamas refuses to lay down its weapons, and after a widely seen video of the terror group publicly executing Gazans.
Will there ever be peace in the Middle East? Just 7 days ago, there was a peace treaty signed with President Donald Trump and various leaders in the Middle East. Exactly 2 days ago, there was a breaking of that peace treaty by Hamas, a terrorist Islamic group that is ruling, or actually that is presiding, in the Gaza Strip. Israel claims that it was Gaza that has broken this treaty by attacking them and not releasing the hostages. This is a wild time because now, what does this mean? Does it mean that we're going to see protests for those Gazians being killed by Hamas in the Gaza Strip? Are we going to see that there won't be peace in the Middle East? Are we going to see another spurt of war between Hamas and Israel? Well, I'm trusting God for peace, and even though things might seem uncertain, let's continue to pray and let's continue to see how the Lord will break through in this manner. In the meantime, let's be aware of what's happening around us and let's see what's going on in the world. And on that note, my name is Stephen. Thank you so much for joining. And if it is your first time here, thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you for coming onto the page. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. We would love for you to be part of this community as we aspire to share hope, inspire passion, and see Christ sharing what's relevant in the world right now, conversing what edifies you and brings you closer to God to strengthen your relationship in Him. And so, we're going to be looking at a couple of videos today with regards to what I was just mentioning a couple of minutes ago on how things are currently standing. We do understand that about 7 days ago, there was a peace treaty that was signed. Like I said also before, we do understand that about 2 days ago, there was an attack from Hamas that is attacking civilians in Gaza, people without any weapons, people that are in the streets, and some unfortunate things are happening. But we're going to have a look at these videos, and I want your thoughts on this as we go check this out. Let's check out this one.
President Trump issued another warning to Hamas yesterday. Stop killing people in Gaza, or we'll have no choice but to go in and kill you.
Hamas has yet to turn over all the bodies of the deceased hostages. Israel calls that a violation of the ceasefire agreement. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more.
In a post on Truth Social, President Trump warned Hamas, if Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. When asked later if his post meant that U.S. troops would go into Gaza, Trump responded,
No, I didn't say who would go in, but somebody will go in. It's not going to be us. We won't have to. There are people very close, very nearby that will go in. They'll do the trick very easily, but under our auspices.
His comments come as Hamas refuses to lay down its weapons and after a widely seen video of the terror group publicly executing Gazans. There are reports.
Okay, so let's just park it right there and let's have a chat about this really quickly. I'm not going to be pausing the video the whole time, so you don't need to worry. But what we are seeing is, I saw the video actually, and it was really gruesome to see how they do this executionalist style, having the people in the streets, having them witnessed by so many other people, having cameras around, making a statement, so to say. Other Palestinians are saying, no, those are criminals in the street. Others are saying this is a tribe war. And yet, with the statement that's being made, I want us to think about this clearly. With the statement that's being made, it's wild that they are still glorifying violence and it's supposed to be a time of peace. Right? Whether it's a time of peace between Israel and Hamas or whatever internal struggles are happening in Gaza, they should be finding a functional solution on how they can actually coexist with whoever is in power in Gaza. Isn't that so? But because violence is the language of the day or the norm for Hamas, it makes it difficult for that kind of conversation to happen. Now, when we consider how many hostages are still outstanding from being handed over to the Israelis, we see that could this be motivated by something more? I mean, if a peace deal was signed, I think that if the reports are correct, there was only 2 hostages released in the beginning of last week or this week. So it makes me feel and seem as if there might be something darker, right? Because if you did sign this peace deal, why are you not then releasing according to this agreement that you are making? And so it does make it or seem as if there is something shady going on. But let's listen further, and hopefully we get a better perspective on what is happening. But it is clear that Hamas wants to exalt violence. They do want to show that they are in power. They do want to fight for that, and they're willing to do anything to do so. And they're just not living up to the treaty deal that has went out. And so later on, we will get to understand when you follow a bit more. Israel does say that they are attacking the Gaza Strip again due to the fact that Hamas has broken this treaty, right? So there's that. But anyway, let's check this out further.
It's that it's fighting other clans in Gaza in a power struggle. Israel accuses Hamas of breaking the Trump-mediated agreement by not returning all the deceased hostages yet. Only 9 have been returned so far, with 19 more still held in Gaza.
A callous, barbaric.
Okay, so 9 has been released in total. What I was talking about, 2 was released. It's almost as if they are releasing them bit by bit, if I can put it that way. Man, my glasses are just irritating me. But anyway, it's as if they are releasing them bit by bit. And so that's what makes this just weird. Why aren't you just giving all the hostages the way that you are supposed to? So, but anyway, yeah. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking so far. Let me know, do you think that there is this different or weird agenda that's happening? Let me know.
Terror group is continuing to hold onto these bodies as their families innocently wait to give their loved ones a dignified Jewish burial. Now, this is what Israel is up against, and the Prime Minister is determined, committed, and is working tirelessly to return all of our fallen hostages.
Still, Israel is allowing the flow of aid into Gaza despite not receiving all the hostages back yet. The IDF received 2 bodies early Thursday, the last female hostage in Bar Haiman, and Bedouin IDF Master Sergeant Muhammad al-Atresh. Meanwhile, the Israeli army continues to strike potential threats. In Lebanon, the IDF is striking what it called Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure, which the group is using to rebuild. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun called for direct negotiations with Israel and reportedly published on his homepage a speech by a member of parliament saying, "The time has come to end the conflict with Israel and move towards stability and prosperity." In Yemen, Houthi rebels said their chief of staff, a major general, died of wounds sustained in an Israeli airstrike, most likely in August. Back in Israel, 2 of the hostages released earlier this week are home from the hospital. Captivity survivors Eitan Horn and Nimrod Cohen received huge heroes' welcomes as they returned to their hometowns of Kfar Saba and Rehovot. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
That hero's welcome is echoed in Scripture. Here it is in Isaiah 51. So the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing, with everlasting joy on their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness. Sorrow and sighing shall flee away. That's a partial fulfillment these days in Israel with the return of the hostages. But we all look forward to that wonderful day of redemption, the Messiah returning to Zion, returning to Jerusalem. What a wonderful day that will be. Until that time, it looks like we're in continual conflict. In the Scripture, peace, peace, and there is no peace. If Lebanon is serious about peace, there could be incredible prosperity at the other side of that.
Okay, so he ends off there by saying that if Lebanon definitely wants peace, this could be a really good time for Israel, for the Middle East, if they are going to work together to get Hamas out of power, right? So it seems like there's one solution. Let me make it. There's 2 solutions, right? It's either they just disarm, they put down their arms, and they let others take over the power, whereby they then can conduct that on however that's going to look like. Or, like President Trump said, they'll get people to come in and they'll forcefully then with violence as well do the same. But this is wild. Okay, I want us to think about this. When remember, this is Hamas wanting Israel out. This is Hamas that doesn't want anything to do with Israel. It was Israel that was bombing Gaza. It was Israel that was killing kids and women and people and innocents. It was Israel. I'm not saying, now listen carefully, I'm not saying, and I'm not advocating for the fact that bad things were done by Israel, right? There were moments when they were not doing good things. But now let's look at this. Israel's not there anymore, or at least they weren't supposed to be there because of this peace treaty that was signed. And Hamas is, and they the ones killing the people, civilians, innocents, people without weapons. Where are the protests for this? Right? Where are the people shouting free Palestine from Israel? So maybe it should sound like free Palestine from Hamas, right? So where are those vocal people that were all about that? So here's the peace treaty that I was speaking about just a bit ago, and let's check this out. And you can see for yourself that this is actually something that did happen. Check this out.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up. Okay, thank you. I can use my pen. Have a pen? Can you use mine? Okay.
Okay, so basically that's just them signing the papers. I'll put the link of the whole video in the description. You can check the whole thing, but just to save some time, it's them signing President Trump, like he mentions, that it is a peace treaty that has been made in the Middle East, and so therefore they are in that situation. Few days later, and this peace treaty is broken. President Trump is out there making it known to Hamas that if they keep defiling this peace treaty, that he's going to take action. We're seeing Hamas attacking civilians. We're seeing Israel coming back and attacking. So there's a whole thing going on. It's a whole mess. And I want us to think about this. We are the protesters that were going wild, that were going crazy, that were saying free Palestine from Israel. But we're seeing, maybe it should have read free Palestine from Hamas, perhaps. I don't know. But check out this, what Bill Maher says.
Have you noticed that now that Hamas has taken over again, they're what?
Shooting everybody.
Shooting everybody. Where are the protesters? Suddenly, the keffiyeh wearing college kids are very
can't be found. Yeah, can't be found anywhere.
This is okay. It's just amazing the asymmetry of what goes on.
So, like I've said before, Bill Maher is not quite a Christian. He doesn't quite advocate for Christianity, and there's a couple of things he said in the past that I did not quite like. But in this instance, he did mention a couple of valid points with regards to what's happening in Nigeria and what's happening in Gaza, and he comes to the same conclusion. Where are those that were protesting for human rights? Where are those humanitarians that were going out, the activists that were going out, that were saying, oh, look at what Israel is doing? Where's the same standard that should be held now with Hamas? Where's the same standard that should be held with these people that are killing innocent people in Nigeria, but also in Gaza? And so we see, like I mentioned in the previous video, there is a clear understanding and a clear witnessing of hypocrisy that we are seeing in society that would elevate one agenda, but then when they look at another people suffering and it doesn't line up to who and what they are not going to stand for those people, even though they are people as well. And you want to base your whole message that these are people that are dying, these are people that are suffering, but we are not doing anything about other people on the opposite side, and yet they are people as well. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted to make that known to you. the premise and the whole point of this video is, should the protests have read Free Palestine from Hamas? And where are the protesters? Where are the protesters making noise? Where are the protesters for those that are innocently dying? Where are the protesters that should be standing up for humanitarian activism in society? Right? Anyway, just my thoughts. Anyway, enjoy. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know. I know there's going to be a couple of weird guys in there. Drop your thoughts. Let's talk about it and let's process through it. All right. God bless you guys. Keep well and speak soon.